On behalf of Dstyle, GFunky, and Sonteo, we'd like to offer our condolences to La Familia Jiménez. Ricardo Jiménez passed away earlier this week, and his daughter sent out a 7-part tweet that started off by saying, "A few days ago, my dad, Ricardo Jiménez, had a stroke, and earlier today he passed away. For my sister and I, my dad was the world. He was the funniest, wittiest, wisest person I'll ever know. During this difficult time, it has been overwhelming, in a good way, to see how much he was loved, how many people he impacted, how many hearts he touched, by family, by friends, by people he worked with throughout the years. When he passed, he was surrounded by family, and my guitar gently weeps was playing. It was peaceful, and it was right. He will no longer be in pain. Thank you so much to everyone who has shared well wishes, prayers, memories, photos, videos, and more. I know that somehow, somewhere he is listening, and he knows he was loved. My dad was a storyteller. I learned about stories from him first. Stories about his childhood, about his work, about sports, about characters he created on the spot because I couldn't fall asleep and I wanted a story. He was a reader. He was always reading something, usually a mass market crime thriller, and sometimes we read the same books and discussed it, and there was nothing quite like knowing that we were reading the same words, the same pages. He loved movies. Every weekend my sister and I would go to the AMC. Every weekend my sister and I would go to an AMC theater with him. He was well traveled. He saw dozens of states and countries. And I'll never forget the anticipation of his rental car pulling up in the driveway or going to pick him up at the airport. He loved the Beatles. When I couldn't sleep, he'd carry me around the house and sing All My Loving until I did fall asleep. I could talk about my dad forever, and I know that I will. There'll never be enough words. Rest in peace, Daddy." That was by one of his daughters on Twitter, Alex Luceli Jimenez. And then here, I'm going to go through a few tweets that people put out that had really nice words to say about Ricardo Jimenez, starting with Bruce Trampler, who's the matchmaker for Top Rank. Rest in peace, Ricardo Jimenez. One of the truly nicest people ever. Publicist and sports fanatic, and a man in the category of Jimmy Glenn. The highest praise I can give. His health has been failing, which was painful to friends, but a blessing to have been an amigo of Ricardo. That's Bruce Trampler with Top Rank. He's the matchmaker. And then here we have Lance Pugmire, who used to work for the Los Angeles Times, who now works for The Athletic. He got us into places we'd never been before, maximizing Spanish language news coverage from New York to LA to Puerto Rico to Mexico. And that was a quote by Lee Samuels. And that's what he had to say about Ricardo Jimenez. That was a tweet put out by Lance Pugmire with The Athletic. Salvador Rodriguez, who is known as Chava, who works for ESPN, put out a tweet saying, "Se me adelantó mi amigo Ricardo Jiménez, que Dios lo tenga en su gloria, un extraordinario periodista, publirelacionista y mejor amigo. Siempre me apoyó a lo largo de mi carrera. Te voy a extrañar, Richard." That's Chava from ESPN. And then he posted a picture. That's Chava there on the right and Ricardo Jimenez there on the left. This is Ernie, who works with Golden Boy Promotions. He is the fighter liaison, and he wrote here, the amazing and great thing hearing about Ricardo Jimenez is that the story I have is the story many others have as well. If you needed something, Ricardo would go out of his way to help make it happen. You don't meet many people in life, let alone in the sport of boxing, who do that with nothing expected or owed in return. Special man. That's Ernie, who's the fighter liaison of Golden Boy Promotions. And then here we have Thompson Boxing. Thompson Boxing is a local promoter here in the Inland Empire in Southern California, and they put on shows here in Corona and Ontario. And Ken Thompson is the owner there, and they tweeted out, "We send our deepest condolences to the Jimenez family during this difficult time. Ricardo was a friend to many in the sport of boxing, and he will be remembered by all. Que en paz descanse. Top Rank tweeted out, Ricardo Jiménez was one of the boxing's good guys, a man who chronicled the sport as a reporter and later as a publicist. The Top Rank family sends its condolences to Ricardo's family and friends, as he will be greatly missed by all who knew him. And then they posted a picture here of him, Ricardo in the middle, with on the left you have Eric Morales, and to the right you have Marco Antonio Barrera. Here at the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, we send our heartfelt condolences to the family of our dear friend Ricardo Jiménez, who passed away this afternoon. In his illustrious career, he was the Spanish announcer for The Forum Boxing. He worked for Top Rank and was a legendary publicist to many champs. Rest in peace. And they posted a picture, and there he is with the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame logo on the left. Ricardo Jiménez, rest in peace. And then here we have a picture of Brandon Rios. Ricardo Jiménez did a lot of work with him at the Brandon was with Top Rank many years, but this picture looks like it might have been one of his last fights. And then you see the whole team Rios there, and then you see in between Brandon and his wife in the top picture is Ricardo Jiménez. And then on the bottom left you see Brandon with Ricardo, and then on the bottom right you see Lee Samuels, who's the current publicist for Top Rank, with Ricardo Jiménez. So on behalf of Dstyle, GFunky, and Sonteo, we'd like to offer our condolences to the Jiménez family for the loss of their beloved Ricardo.